Hey guys, Dane from CardTech 710 here with another video. Thought I'd show you some of my New Year's resolution cards. I said this year I was going to focus more on vintage cards. So what better way to target vintage cards than to taking on the iconic T206 set, the Monster. 524 cards if you don't count the big six. And late last year, I broke my T206 Cherry and got the T206 Ty Cobb portrait, a red portrait. Still one of my favorite cards. Great color, great centering. This is a PSA 2.5. And I downloaded an ebook written by Scott Reeder called Inside T206. And I'm sure I'll get another book to do a little more research, as well as watch some more of Dead Guy Cardboard's videos. But through my readings, I said, how can I go about taking on the Monster? Do I focus on rookies? Do I focus on portrait cards? Do I go for the rare backs? That would be a little dangerous for me, especially because I like parallel cards and modern cards. So I can imagine for T206 cards, I'll be probably focusing on rare backs if I'm not careful. That can cost me a lot of money that I need to spend. But I started off with my second T206 card, is the T206 Tris Speaker rookie in a PSA 3. Great looking card. Really like it. And in the book, I found out that one rare card, which is here, is the T206 Ray Dement St. Louis. Probably most of you don't know who this guy is or what this card is. Probably Dead Guy Cardboard does. But it's not a printing error, but out of the T206 set, the big six, the ones that some people do and don't necessarily count as part of the set, is the Ty Cobb with the Ty Cobb backs, the Honus Wagner, the Eddie Plank, the Joe Doyle, the Sherry Maggie, and past that, the most difficult cards to get is one of them is this one, the T206 St. Louis, and the other one is the T206 Bill O'Hara. Both of these guys were New York players that got traded to teams in St. Louis. Not the same team, but different teams. One's for Bill O'Hara went from the New York Giants to the St. Louis Cardinals. And Ray Dement went from a team called the New York Highlanders, which now became the New York Yankees, to the St. Louis Browns. So they weren't on the same team, but they similar situations. And Polar Bear is the only tobacco company that made their cards with the St. Louis uniforms. So Ray Dement has St. Louis here, and of course he's got the St. Louis American League writing down there. So even though this is PSA 1, it's a very difficult to get card. The more I read about it, the more happier I am that I got a copy of it, because even a PSA 1 with a condition like this, it's not a cheap card by any means, and neither is the Bill O'Hara. Matter of fact, I lost out on a Bill O'Hara auction just about a week ago or so. So I'm still on the lookout for one of those. Card that's been on my want list for a long time is the 1948 Leaf Stan Musial rookie. In a BBG5. And actually, I've been on the lookout for a 48 Bowman Stan Musial rookie, but to get one that's well-centered, it's proving to be very difficult. And either that or the amount that people were asking for the Bowman rookies was just way too much. Same thing for the Stan Musial rookies by Leaf. The prices that they were asking, I don't necessarily go by SMR, but I do use them as a guide, as I also use the historical sales prices on eBay, if you look those up. And the prices that people have, they weren't on auction. They were all on buy it nows. And finally, I found this one, and I reached out to the seller, a guy named J-Dub Subs, a real nice guy who agreed to give me a discount that kind of helped cushion the blow of the sales tax. And the price was still within, I think reasonable, compared to what other people are asking for Stan Musial rookies. With the Leaf cards, believe it or not, this is actually not very well centered top to bottom. It's just masked really well because of this black border here at the bottom, but the other three sides I'm pretty happy with. And the subgrades, which I do like that Beckett does the subgrades, is you have the centering 5, the corners 4.5, edges 6.5, and the surface is a 5.5. So I'm eventually going to send this to PSA, and we'll see what it comes back as. I haven't had the best of luck cross-grading cards, but still, I'm really happy to get a copy of this. And I'm not in any rush, but I eventually will be sending this in. My last pickup is one I showed on the slideshow recently. Is the 1952 Burcross Ted Williams in a PSA 4.5. I got this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I did want a Burcross card as part of my collection. I did want specifically Ted Williams. Most people go for the Mickey Mantle, but I did want the Ted Williams because in 1952 there was no Topps or Bowman Ted Williams, so this is the one card. And third is for Burcross, this is beautifully centered. Corners are a little rounded, which accounts for the 4.5 grading, but I really got this because of it's just gorgeous looking card, really well centered. And on the back it's got this Hit Parade of Champions that most of the Burcrosses all have. I guess, and maybe you guys can correct me, this is a card company in New York, or not necessarily a card company, but it was like a promotion from a company in New York. Anyhow, that's it for now. I'll be recording a video with some of my modern pickups recently, but yeah, starting to dabble in T206s. Kind of scared, but in an exciting way. And I'd like to thank everybody for their comments and all that subscribe. And as usual, thanks for watching.